steeping and roasting. Yeah, that's what we do. Set 'em up, knock 'em down, make that cherry glow. Whiskey and cigars, the gentleman's cologne.
Cheers, y'all. Now that sounds like a party just about to begin, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors, to this fine radio program, podcast, and video extravaganza known internationally
Hi, Mom.
as the world famous Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And before we get any further, I just want to say, Terry, our producing engineer, it sounds like Ian's mic is a little bit louder than mine.
Yeah,
and
to bring it down a little.
If that's the case, then we're in violation of my contract. So Ian's mic is always supposed to be a little bit less loud than mine. That's the contract. That's what it says.
I always wondered why my job title says mumbling co-host.
Well, that's just your business card. See, that doesn't mean that's officially your title. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's program number 431. We are all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And on today's show, we're doing craft cocktails with the Spirit Box of Instagram fame. And we also are going to talk a little bit about tequila, which always makes me happy. So, gentlemen, welcome to the
Tequila
program.
creates a flash mob.
Let's start on my left, and you guys just introduce yourself and say what it is you do.
All right. I go by Fowler. I am I'm the co-host on the Spirit Box and the production manager at one of the best whiskey bars in the whole country, Reserve 101.
It is, absolutely. One of my favorite things about it is the amazing selection of whiskeys that you guys have and your special barrel picks and stuff that you do. My other favorite thing about it is stumbling distance from my house, which I really appreciate and have appreciated on many different occasions.
Yes, you can walk out of there 45 degrees and basically fall home.
Right. If I don't run face first into the Four Seasons Hotel, I'm home. So it's a good thing. All right.
Hey, I'm Will Brooks, the global ambassador for Tequila Herradura, and I'm seated right where I need to be between two epic bartenders, so it's a good day.
Nice. Any day when you bring Herradura tequila and line it up on the dais here is a good day. But you also brought me an agave plant, which I'm so excited about.
Yeah, just don't kill it.
I do pretty good with plants, actually, so I'm excited.
Agave. Whoa.
Yeah. You, sir, introduce your fine self.
Yes, sir. Well, my name is Roberto Rivas, and I'm the other half of the Spirit Box.
Mm-hmm.
And, we do a lot of stuff regarding cocktail world, just creating cocktails, consulting, and, we have a takeover coming up at Nickel City on May 19th.
All right.
So please come see us.
That's
Cool.
gonna be
That's in Houston. So if you're in the Houston area, come and see these guys. They do great work. In fact, I understand you brought a couple of cocktails today, right?
Yes, sir.
So exciting. All right, this is good. And you, sir, who are you?
Well, hola. My name is Ian,
Yeah?
and sometimes I talk on a mic.
Yep.
Lower volume than
How'd you
cruise.
get in here?
Yes. We left the door open accidentally.
It's amazing the places you can get in when you have a push broom.
Yeah.
No one even notices.
Or a ukulele. That'll work as well. So, well, in today's show, we're going to talk craft cocktails with the Spirit Box. We are also going to taste what I hope will be some interesting beers from Austin, Texas, and one of our personal favorite breweries, I think, Jester King.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to try their Pilsner lager, which they have affectionately named German Style. German Style
Yeah.
Pilsner lager.
Pilsner Lager, German style.
Yeah, it's not the most creative name, but it is fairly descriptive. I think.
It's funny when you say Jester King. I don't think, late beginning of the day ABV. Either.
No, you sure don't. You think about some of the, think about maybe some of the crazy sours or the huge beers that they have created. So this will be interesting. From Equilibrium Brewery and Three Sons Brewing, a collaboration. We'll be trying their Infinite Mosa. It's a double IPA.
Mosa?
Yes, that's what it's called. So it's obviously a hazy, and look forward to trying that.
Do you remember the beer that was from the Jonas Brothers? It was the Jonas Brothers called Hop.
I do think I remember that. Unfortunately, yes, I do. There's so many celebrity beers and spirits happening out there now. We try to keep track of them for you, of all of them for you, but I fear that we can't. That it's an impossible task.
You know, the only ones that really matter when it comes to beer is the Robertson's does the Iron Maiden ones.
Yes. Oh, and remember the AC/DC?
Robinson's does.
Remember the AC/DC ones?
The
Those were
AC/DC
good
ones were
too.
pretty good,
Yeah, yeah. So there's a few out there that are worthwhile. And Ian, I was thinking of you when I put this one on the list for today from Oceanside, California, and Horus Aged Ales. We'll be trying Sharkeez.
Ooh.
It's an English-style barley wine, which I know isn't your thing.
You love me.
Yes,
you
I
really
do.
love me.
I really do. I really do. Well, welcome again to the program. We'll be trying all of those things. Plus, we'll be doing our normal features here on the program, including the big one in the second hour, which is drinking news, which somehow, against all odds and any basis of reason, has become the most popular segment on the program.
A little bizarre.
Our drinking news teaser headline for today. Has anyone seen my phone? And the drinking fact, which I don't have a teaser for, but today is going to be the debut of the drinking fact becoming the drunken fact. And the reason for that is I've exhausted just about all of the unusual facts I seem to be able to find about drinking. So we're just going to expand it. That will allow us to continue to play the fanfare. Can we hear the fanfare, Terry, just to show you?
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just such a wonderful thing.
Like it just puffs your chest out a little bit.
We just couldn't stop using it, and so we've expanded. So these will now be just random, interesting facts from around the world, and they'll probably be best enjoyed if you've been drinking, just kind of like drinking news. It's kind of like that. We also like to do a segment or do something in the first segment whenever we can, where one of us will bring in a beverage, and the only person that knows what it is the person what brung it, and we call this the beverage of mystery. So that makes it so much more interesting, don't you think?
I like the mosquito-y nature
Yes,
of that.
I know. It's like,
Yeah.
You can tell we're in Houston.
this swatting may be what we're doing after we actually drink this. The only person that knows what the beverage of mystery is the person what brung it, and today that is our engineering producer, Terry. So,
and I haven't tried it yet. I bought it, but I haven't tried it.
well, I know you poured it, and when you did and set it in front of me, I said, this looks like Mad Dog 2020.
It
I don't know
smells.
if
It
it is.
smells purple.
Yes.
I'm not going to say it smells grape. I'm going to say it smells purple.
You know what it reminds me of on the nose is, remember those things when you were a kid that your mom would buy? They were in those little like plastic milk carton things, except they were only about, like big enough to fit in your hand. And it had that purple grape drink that was so gritty you could feel it kind of like coating your throat with grit when you would swallow.
Smells like a blackberry Jolly Rancher.
Oh, okay. Now that's much more appetizing than what.
Now, Terry, I was going to ask you, did you have a prescription for this, or was it over the counter?
Should we be careful with drinking alcohol after this?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Oh, we should be careful drinking
See,
this.
I thought
Wow.
it was. I thought it was going to be a clear. I was
Really?
surprised that it was as purple as it is.
Okay, I think I know. I think I know what
It's
it
a
is.
little astringent on the
think you know?
aftertaste.
I think I know what it is. Can I guess?
Yes,
It's communion wine.
it does taste like that.
That is exactly what it
It
tastes
does taste like that.
I don't hate this at
I
all.
really don't hate it either.
like. Actually,
It's very sweet, but it's...
I expected to, and you're right. It is a little.
So by the
sweeter than I
second
like.
sip, it's actually a little more pleasant. It is still a little astringent on the aftertaste, though.
I'm wondering if it.
that it dries my.
I'm wondering if it includes alcohol or not.
It
I-
does.
I was
It
wondering
does.
that,
I think
too.
it does.
As we famously know, most communion wine does not. And if there are churches that do actually use communion wine with alcohol, I'm converting. Just so you know.
I think it could be one of those bottles of Welch's wine thing that is non-alcoholic.
Oh, you know what? I love those. I love those. And this is not. It's almost sweet enough to be that, but it's not quite sweet enough to be that. And I didn't
I just
expect it
finished
to be
mine.
this
What the
close.
hell?
I didn't expect
know.
it to be this close to that kind of stuff.
All right, Terry.
I like the more I
Is it
drank it, the
actually
more I like it.
alcoholic Red Bull?
I have a question.
You have a
I
question
have
for
a question
Terry?
for you, Terry. Is that a beverage of mystery in your pocket, or are you just happy to be here?
It is a beverage of mystery in my pocket. It is Stella
Stella
Rosa
Rosa.
Blueberry.
Stella Rosa. Am I just like lost? I don't know what Stella
wine?
Rosa
I don't know
is.
what it is. It's
A
something
low
I found
alcohol,
at Target.
a low alcohol grape wine, grape wine specialty with natural blueberry flavors.
I've seen the bottles of
There's
Stella
no
Rosa
way I
before.
could have picked
Yeah.
blueberry out of that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely what it was. Yeah, I feel like that was.
And you know what?
Really?
That's why.
prominent for
That's
me.
why I bought it. But you're right. When I drink it,
It just
it's
smelled
all grape.
purple.
It's grape.
Yeah.
I was torn between saying blueberry or blackberry.
Like that's grape.
It's
Like
almost like a
grape
black
Kool-Aid
currant.
is grape.
Yeah,
Makes me want to say,
Yes.
That's exactly right.
It's like
Grape
yeah,
Reminds me of creme de cassis, like
Yeah.
Gabriel Boudier.
definitely.
Grape Ape.
You
We-
could
we
we
have a whole
could work
nother
this
conversation
into like
going
an El
on.
Diablo or something.
You know, you can't get the cocktail guys in a room and start like breaking down and disseminating things because they'll just go. That's why we like having you guys on the show, because I have to do very little preparation. We just go, Stella Rosa. Discuss.
Discuss.
I gotta make one comment on this can.
Although
I love-
not
I
disgusting.
can't find the alcohol.
Well, they had to make like a really prominent feature that says "made with real fruit."
Yeah.
Made with at least 10% real fruit.
Like
juice.
high C fruit juice.
From concentrate.
Is it, were you going to say about the can that it is,
I was trying to find the alcohol, but I can't.
Right here.
yeah, it does say low alcohol. So
Yeah,
what is-
5%.
5%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's
Yeah.
that's not necessarily too that low.
I bought
Well,
it
that's
at
low
Target,
for
so it was one
wine,
of those
as
where you can
wine-
get it at Target.
Yeah.
Enough to
But
give you a
wine
hangover.
is generally in the 14% range.
Correct. Yeah. So this is
So
as
it's low
wine
for
goes.
wine.
Yeah.
It just brings that can down to beer level.
Yes.
Right. Which
Enough to give you a
explains-
hangover.
Yeah, which explains why you can get the hangover from wine a little easier than you can get it from beer, right?
Yes.
Because that alcohol content is higher. But not so here with Stella Rosa. Here you can enjoy blueberry-ishness with
See, that's what I really bought it for. I was
With the
expecting it to
lingering
be more
astringency.
blueberry, but
you know
I
what?
didn't hate the grape.
honestly,
really,
yeah, it's not bad. It really is
Yeah.
not
I
bad.
think they should use my line. They should say, now with lingering astringency.
I think that will work. On today's show, we're going to tell you about some cigars
Selling
to
point.
watch for. Here come the tariff price increases. Some of the cigar companies are already announcing their price increases due to the tariffs. And there is a new celebrity cigar line being released, and we'll tell you about that coming up on the show. So we got a lot to talk about. It's going to be a full show, and we'll be doing lots of tasting. I'm looking at this outlay of Herradura bottles,
so
and
good,
I'm
right?
just so excited about this. Plus, we have the cocktails. Plus, we have the beers. So today's show is brought to you by Uber, and hopefully that'll.
Uber, we are giving you a chance to sponsor this
Yes,
program.
that's right. You know, we do it for trade.
feel
at
free
this
to call
point.
us.
You give us rides home after the show. We'll mention you on the program. That's
Just
the way it can
rides
work.
from the house to Reserve 101.
and then I can stumble the rest of the way. It's all good. All right, I tell you what, we're going to take a break, and we will be back momentarily with more, including, by the way, a new list of Cigar Journal's best buy cigars of 2024. So with tariffs going up and everything increasing in price, we'll try to help you find some good ones for less. That'll be the cigar point of the show today. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars, and we will be right back.
I'm just saying, all told, it's not the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth.
That's good to know. We'll explore that later. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. You can get every Smoking and Toasting episode on YouTube. You can get it on any of the major podcast platforms, including, Spotify and iHeart and all of those, as well as Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts.
And we're excited because we continue to kind of grow our radio outreach because we're syndicated to radio, and we do have some new affiliates that we want to welcome to the Smoking and Toasting family. So
Drum roll.
WDEL AM and FM in Wilmington, Delaware,
Drum roll.
is a new affiliate. Welcome, you guys. Thank you. WICC AM in Bridgeport and Fairfield, Connecticut is new to the fold. WFOX FM in Southport, Connecticut, which WFOX, that sounds like a classic rock station.
WFOX, yes.
If they're not, they should. Or maybe a Fox News station. Who knows?
Fox.
Anyway, they're in Southport, Connecticut in the Danbury Metro. And we also are excited to welcome KFNC ESPN Radio in Houston, Texas.
Oh,
Welcome.
we're already announcing it. That's great.
yeah, so,
Wonderful.
yeah.
We're in the hometown now.
So I don't know if the show has started there yet or is starting next week, but very, very soon you will hear us there. And they're going to air us Houston time on Friday evenings from 7 to 9. So
shout out to my friend Paul Gallant. He's on noon to 3 on that station.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then one more, and one that I have a personal tie to because back before it was a talk station, I used to do morning drive on KFTK in St. Louis, Missouri, 97.1 FM. It's now an FM news channel.
This is bringing you full circle back to that station.
Yeah, so I'm back on there.
That's
Please
amazing.
forget all of the stuff I said the first time, if you wouldn't mind. That would be great. Some of those jokes were not good. The jokes here will
That's
be
stuff you got to do to be a morning DJ.
the jokes here will be marginally better. I promise. I promise. So anyway, welcome to all of our new affiliates, and we understand that. We might not be on in your market if you're listening to the show via podcast, but all you have to do is call up your local talk radio station and just say, I want my S&T.
I want my S&T.
It worked for MTV. We're going to hope it works for us.
That's right.
Yeah. And we promise, by the way, that 5 years from now, we won't be all reality shows and no talk about cigars and spirits and craft beer.
No, this is completely unscripted.
Yeah. Speaking of cigars, I want to tell you about the cigar I had the opportunity to smoke this week. It was the Fonseca by my father, and I smoked the Robusto size of this. In about 2020, the legendary Fonseca brand underwent some changes. The Cuban Fonseca remained as it was, but the non-Cuban version, which had originally been made for the U.S. and other markets for 45 years by Casada, was purchased by the Garcia family, the proud owners and producers of my father's cigars, and they gave it a little bit of a retooling, as they are wont to do. The previous Casada version had been made with primarily Dominican tobacco and was considered more of a mild to medium-bodied blend. And while the Garcias cranked that up a little bit, they do say on their website that the profile of richness, earth, and spice has been tamed to pay homage to the smooth and lighter profile of the classic Fonseca blend. Now, this was one of the cigars that was in my pack from the Texas Cigar Festival, which, by the way, I want to say thank you to the staff at Casa de Montecristo and specifically to Ken.
Steve and to Ken, thank you guys so much.
Because they invited us to this, and it was a wonderful event. We enjoyed it. We smoked cigars and got a pack with some cigars in it to take home, which was great. And this was one of the cigars that was in this pack. I was excited to get it because I always enjoyed the previous Fonsecas, but I also consider Pepin Garcia to be a bit of a tobacco genius.
Yes.
So I used a punch to open the head of the cigar up. I got sweetness, hay, and leather on the pre-light sniff, and almost a creamy, milky note on the cold draw. The My Father blend for Fonseca uses a Corojo 99 Rosado wrapper over binder and filler from Nicaragua. I did not get the strong Nicaraguan pepper blast when I first lit it up, but as that Fonseca began to settle in, I did pick up some pepper, along with a toasty bread note, a bit of caramel, and some cedar. Very different so far from my usual smokes, but I was loving the flavor profile in the first third. Second third, wonderful complexity that was really nice to experience in a cigar that was slightly lighter bodied than my usual go-to smokes. One of the reasons I usually opt for medium to full is I kind of found that to be for me, the sweet spot for flavor complexity.
Right.
But the Fonseca, my father, was wonderfully complex. And as I burned on into the second third, I got more creaminess, a kind of fruit sweetness, like from raisins or dates, that kind of sweetness, and an underlying core of pepper and tanned leather. Final third was every bit as flavorful. Pepper, cedar, creamy fruit sweetness, and a hint of earth underneath it all. There was a wonderful balance to the whole flavor profile the entire way through. And for what it's worth, by the final third, the medium-bodied strength had kind of kicked up to medium to full, right in my fun zone. Does it sound kind of weird when I use the phrase fun zone? Sorry, I'll delete that one from my list. Construction was great, and the burn was consistently good all the way through. One other thing to mention, The Fonseca by my father's cigar band, which you'll see in the picture here if you're watching the video, is absolutely stunning in a really traditional cigar band kind of way. They did just a beautiful job of putting it together. I have included the pic of it here if you're watching the video version of the show. But overall, the Fonseca by my father smoked like a genuine example of the My Father line, maybe just a touch lighter. I enjoyed it very much, and even at the Robusto size, it smoked for just a little over an hour, which is pretty cool. Fonseca by my father is about a $10 cigar in the Robusto size. I feel like I got every bit of that $10 worth out of it, and maybe even a little more. So price to quality at $10, a solid 5. If you can find this one for less, 5+ for sure, I do highly recommend the Fonseca by my father. All right, we got to start tasting some cocktails and some tequila, and I think we'll be up to the challenge. That's my hope. We'll be right back to get that started. It's Smoking and Toasting. Stay with us. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits,
It always spritzes
and
right
little
off my
cigars.
ukulele.
That happens. But, keep those personal times to yourself. So I just wanted to mention, everybody's kind of grooving to the music. We occasionally want to stop and say that is, some of the bumper music we use, all by permission, by the way, because of podcasting. But we have permission from the band The Suffers, a Houston-based band that does what they call Gulf Coast Soul, and they are awesome. If you ever get the chance to see them live, I've seen them live probably a dozen times. I love this band, so they're absolutely awesome. So that's their song. I think the title of that is "Make Some Room." So, so nice to have you guys on the program with us. We have guests from the cocktail spectrum, we could call it.
I just want to point out a detail from the last segment.
Yes, sir.
We use our price to quality scale. Our price to quality scale is a scale of 1 to 10.
Right.
So when we're talking about cigars, even spirits, a lot of times, instead of giving you a rating like a lot of places give you, we give you a price to quality. This is how we feel it stacks up versus its cost.
Right.
And that scale is 1 to 10. If you get a 5, you're getting exactly what you pay for. If
Right.
you get
It's
anything
worth
below
what
a
you pay.
5, it doesn't mean necessarily that the product's bad. It can be bad, but it definitely means that you would want to pay a little less for it. If you punch over a 5, then you're getting something that's punching above its weight class.
And as prices go up, which they're in the process of doing right now because of the tariffs, we have to kind of adjust that a little, the scale a little bit. So something that may have been a 5 at $8 before might be a 5 at almost $9 now, depending on the taxes. And here are a few of the tariff price increases. By the way, I just got the info, and I don't know how much it's going to be, but Perdomo also
Speaking of
raising
which,
their
boss,
prices.
I've been needing to talk to you about this since
Yeah.
the tariffs are coming up.
Yeah.
I'm having a price increase.
This is how it affects the entire economy. You want to know how it works? This is how it works. First, the tariffs on one country go up, then they impose reciprocal tariffs, then Ian wants a raise. That's just the way that it always seems to happen. CLE, which already raised prices in February, is now responding to the tariffs with increases based on the thickness of a cigar. This is kind of interesting. Cigars up to 52 ring gauge will be 20 cents higher on the wholesale price, and cigars 54 ring gauge and larger, 30 cents on the wholesale price. So, I don't know.
When you add in the state taxes that everybody puts on the cigars, that's only going to be $15 more per cigar.
Yeah, that's all. That's all. Southern Draw raising prices probably about 10%. To absorb the tariffs. And a new survey of cigar companies revealed that 46.7% of them say if the tariffs remain in place for the next 30 days, they expect the companies to increase prices within the next 30 days after that. Of note, by the way, these surveys were conducted just days after the temporary suspension of some tariffs resulted in Nicaragua's tariff rate being lowered to 10%, although the Dominican Republic and Honduras remained at the previous
I know some of these companies,
levels.
especially in the boutique brands, but even some of the bigger companies really try to keep their prices reasonable.
They do, but if you're a boutique brand, you're only you only have so much in terms of resources
Right,
to
and
be able to absorb something like that.
like there's no way you can not mark it up, because if you absorb that cost, you probably are absorbing almost your entire profit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
At that point,
absolutely. So yeah, and obviously, nobody's in this for a public service. But, they're companies that are designed to make money, and I don't begrudge them that. I just I'm frustrated at how the tariffs are impacting the price of cigars, and obviously tequila. I mean, what is not to go off on a tangent here, but yes,
I just want to point one thing out about cigars. Sorry, the tariffs on cigars are nothing versus the taxes that are imposed on cigars.
100%.
They're not even
because
scratching the surface of the taxes.
Cigars
that we pay.
get the sin tax, which is something that Congress people can raise without having to say I raise taxes and get voted out the next time.
The unearth.
Considered, yes, thank you. But how is this affecting tequila for a major company like Herradura? What does this mean? I mean, obviously you guys are going to have to take prices up a little bit to allow for this, right?
I think we're going to see. It's hard to say right now. There's so many factors involved in that. So I can't speak too much on what to expect to see for the industry in general or for Casa Herradura. But the positive I try to take away from it is whatever does happen, it may incline people to look for spirits that they prefer the quality of rather than the volume of.
Right.
And so let's buy less, but let's drink better. So it's a great opportunity, I think, good for cigars too, to really focus in on quality. In those times where people are buying.
If I have to smoke fewer cigars because of the prices going up, let's make sure the ones I do smoke are really good. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, are we gonna try the beer before we try the cocktail?
That's
or are we gonna do the
entirely
cocktail?
up to you.
I guess since you poured the beer, let's go ahead and do beer, and then we'll go to cocktail after that, because we're going to be mixing all day anyway. So.
This is the Jester King German-style Pilsner lager beer.
Jester King out of Austin, Texas. We've had a number of their beers on before. I think we've pretty much liked them all.
It is highly carbonated, just judging by the pour in the glass.
Yeah, that's a nice
the lacing on the glass, which is stuck there like glue.
Ooh. I mean, the bubbles are moving like a Coca-Cola almost, man.
Right? It smells. It's this smells so much like when you walk into a brewery. That just
first malt smell that you get.
Oh my gosh, it smells so good.
Well, I will tell you that it is super German style. I mean, it is like
it
over
smells
the
fresh,
top.
right? Did you just say that?
It's like the mash is very much like vibes are there. That yeastiness is very prominent. I'm undecided whether I'm a huge yeast fan. I'm all about it. I want it in everything, but the spirits and the beers. But I'm not sure if they've quite nailed that one for me.
Okay, so you think it may be a little too much?
Not too much. It's just I don't want to say flat it is a very, very carbonated, but flat on the yeast is a little flat.
So it also has a little brightness that I wasn't expecting at all. Brightness to the finish, especially.
Yeah, it has a really cool acidity up front too.
Right.
I think that's what I'm talking about there. Yeah,
really nice.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. To me, makes it that acidity makes it seem like towards the sour side, like a sour.
It does have just a hint of sour to it. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Not in a, not in a fruited sour kind of way, but
it also leaves you like when you swallow. It also leaves you with almost a spiciness to it. There's like when you eat something with a little cayenne on it, it has a little spicy that as you swallow, you kind of feel that down your throat. This has a little bit of that effect to it, and I think it's something between. The acidity you're talking about and the carbonation that it has.
I just want to say I don't think this is it doesn't hit me like a lot of Pilsners and lagers as extremely crushable. Yeah. Like it feels a little more like, okay, this is something you would sip and talk about and pass around to friends and what have you. But it's not like, okay, I'm going to take a sixer of these out in a cooler to the park today, which, by the way, is always a great idea.
I will tell you, when it comes to Jester King, my expectations were actually a little bit higher on this one.
I agree.
And I'm not saying that this is a bad beer. So don't get me wrong. It's still a good beer, but I expected Jester King to come in a little bit higher.
I will say, with it being Jester King, it doesn't surprise me that it's a bit funkier than what you expect a Pilsner or lager to be. That is kind of Jester King's wheelhouse.
Nothing is as it seems, right?
Right, exactly.
They do a lot of open air, like wild yeast fermentation.
Right.
Too,
A little bit funky.
However, with each sip, it does, however, speak to being very German.
Yes,
You
I was
know?
just about to say Oktoberfest
It
was the
doesn't
first
feel
thing
like
that came to my mind.
It doesn't feel like there's a lot of American influence on this particular beer.
I would agree.
Yeah, your accent's
Fascinating.
starting to come out a little bit.
A little bit.
There's not American influence.
Nine.
You will love the beer. All right, so let's switch gears and talk cocktail here. What is the first cocktail that you guys are preparing for us here?
We did a siesta riff.
I suppose I'll pour this.
Okay, go for it. A siesta.
Yeah, siesta. It's kind of like a margarita and like a Pegu Club or something had a baby.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh, interesting.
So it's gonna be the Herradura Reposado.
Okay.
We did fresh grapefruit juice, lime juice.
And I can
we
see them
did-
as they're passing them around here. That is a very ruby red grapefruit.
It
kind of
looks like a
color.
grapefruit.
There's
Yeah.
also we did a strawberry infusion on Select Aperitivo as opposed to Campari, which is normally
It
what's used.
smells so good.
Yeah, well, Fowler loves it too, but I decided that was executive decision because I think that Select is a much more elegant Amaro than Campari.
Then a Campari. Okay, interesting. Well, this I love. Ian said it, but I love this on the nose. It's
The
just
smell
promises
so good.
refreshment and goodness.
And you can definitely ask for this cocktail. It's considered a modern classic.
Oh, yeah,
it's
definitely.
newer, but it is known and it is
All right,
special.
so
and beautiful.
say the name of this cocktail again, so everybody gets it.
Siesta.
Siesta.
So
Which,
just ask for a siesta.
That's Spanish for siesta.
Yes. You know, I'm betting that's a
Somebody's
Spanish
heard
word.
this show before.
That's a Spanish word that even Ian knows. Siesta.
You know, in my older years, I find that the siesta is bonita.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. And you'll serve this cocktail up a lot of times.
Yeah.
And
This is
Wow.
really great. I just love all of the flavor complexity that you get even on a
So-
small sip.
yeah.
So when I nose it close, like first off, the fruit and everything, like as you were pouring and passing this around, is brilliant. It smells so good. When you nose it up close, and you really pick up some of the tequila in there, the agave and the pepper.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good because it really balances the sweeter fruity notes, and then you take that sip, and it really just like it just completes the whole story. It's crazy.
So on the fruit side, I almost get a little bit of watermelon along with the grapefruit.
I do see that actually. I see that as well. I think too when you use something like a Select, the black pepper notes from tequila, the bitterness of Select, but it's
Yep.
so balanced bitterness that
Right.
it doesn't it doesn't overshine the fruit. It allows the citrus to shine but not be too acidic. It allows the sweetness to be there but not be too sweet. So
And it's not too bitter either because of the
Yeah.
Amaro aspect.
yeah, and then what you did to it with the strawberry, that is just gonna round it out, give it full
Exactly.
body. It's gonna
Perfectly
clean
balanced.
it up. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's perfectly balanced. This is a wonderful cocktail. Now, as much as I'm loving this, what are the chances that if I walk into a bar and order a siesta, that I'm going to get something that approximates this?
Any reputable cocktail bar should know. how to
Okay,
make it,
all right.
yeah.
All right.
but
Not as good as ours.
I was
but-
yeah, obviously we got two
Yeah.
legends here. So
Well, you know, and I get that. And I
Stop it.
wouldn't necessarily expect it to be this good, but how far off might it be?
You might get a little more bitterness because they'll most likely use Campari.
Yeah.
We chose Select because it's a good middle ground between Aperol and Campari. And then with the bitterness of the grapefruit, I think it just kind of balanced.
Is this one
That's
made?
the kind of
Yeah.
thought detail that goes into
Right.
Yeah,
it.
and
Absolutely.
also it was very, very intentional, the strawberry, because whenever you mix that Amaro with strawberries, it really, really rounds it up and makes it
And
so
you-
much better.
You do get that strawberry like almost after the finish. That's kind of like the lingering
Yeah.
flavor is that strawberry. Is this something you have done and talked about on the Spirit Box, the Instagram channel?
We haven't. We're working on a little video where we're gonna teach how to infuse Select with strawberries and how much you need and how much time, everything. We're working on that.
So if you're serious about
You guys are putting out
cocktails,
You guys are putting out a video a couple times a week or once a week? What are you doing?
we do at least 3 times a week
3 times a week. That's a lot of videos. You guys are working all the time on it.
with a lot of fun in between and
Yeah.
dumb stuff that we do.
And we're trying to build the YouTube. We're doing more long form stuff too. So
Okay.
instead of the YouTube or the Instagram shorts,
I want to talk to you about
TikTok
meeting Fowler for the first time. My wife, who is incredibly she gets a couple drinks in her, then she gets incredibly picky about what she's going to drink.
Yeah.
So
As
we
opposed
walk-
to me, which I get less picky after a couple of drinks.
So we walk into Reserve 101, and I walk up and I get, my normal cocktail. I'll take a Weller with 2 chips of ice. Mm-hmm. Which, if you're a good bartender, you know how to make that happen, right? Mm-hmm. And of course he does. But my wife stands up there and she's watching. There were 2 or 3. I think it was 2 bartenders, you and Alan both, and then and a bar back, I think, that night. And she's standing there watching both of you mix drinks. And then she finally goes, him. I want him to make my drink.
That's fun. Oh, by the way,
This is when you met Fowler.
This is how I met him.
I forgot to say that the OF link is coming soon too.
Right. Yeah.
That's great.
The blue link.
What exactly do we get if we subscribe to the OF?
Well, we're designing some special aprons that leave little to the imagination.
I love this idea. Love this idea. Yeah, this will be a different sort of a cocktail channel for sure. Like seriously, somebody should do that. Like you've heard like naked
Damn.
news, right?
Shouldn't have
This
said
would be,
Right,
like
yeah.
naked cocktails. That's a pretty that's a pretty awesome thing. Be careful where you put that
Naked
drink.
news.
No, but seriously, people can check out because on the Spirit Box you do talk about how to make these.
We
correct?
do a lot.
yeah.
We do a lot of cocktail content, education, and we do spirits reviews. We show people about spirits. We review them. We show them the good from the bad.
Well, speaking of talking about spirits, we're going to do that in our next segment here, as we're going to, kind of delve into the whole Casa Herradura line of spirits, tequila specifically, which is my favorite. And we will be back. It's Smoking and Toasting. It's getting to where even when I open a can at home, I'm really trying for the best sound effect I can get. I don't know. It's one of the, I guess, the work hazard of being on the program. Welcome back. It is Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. We mentioned earlier that the drinking fact is dead. Long live the drunken fact, which is our new feature here on the program. And Terry, if you would be so kind as to give us the brand new intro.
And now it's time for another Smoking and Toasting Drunken Fact.
There you go.
I just want to point out the obvious homage to the drinking fact.
Yes.
That we had. It was very similar. It brought me back. There was a tear to my eye.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
thank you.
Well, now let me tell you about the drunken fact. The drunken fact is a fact that must be true because it's on the internet.
Yes,
These will make you a hit at parties, especially if the person you're talking
I
to
done seen it on the web.
is drunk themselves.
News integrity standards.
Today's drunken fact: a city in the Czech Republic has been preparing to build a dam. This project was scheduled to take about a year to complete, but before they could get started, a bunch of beavers got together and built the dam on that spot in 2 days, thus saving the local authorities about 1.2 million euros.
Oh, all you got to do is hire specialists.
Yeah.
Specialists who, by the way, like what they do.
Oh, yeah, and beavers love building dams.
You know,
I this
bureaucracy
because
beaver.
I've spent probably 10, 12 hours watching shows about beavers on television. And that doesn't even include the internet when I've gone on beaver searches.
And those
But,
beavers, they give a damn.
yes, they do. And they do a fine job of it, too. Much better
The thing is,
job than we do at the comedy on this program.
the thing is, they probably built a better dam, cut through all the bureaucracy,
Yeah.
like with a quickness.
Yep.
No permits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
The forest is gone, but
That's right. Who needed trees? So Ian's poured our beer, and I think we should go to the beer first, and then we will start with tequila. So, Ian, tell us a little bit about this mimosa.
This beer. This is Infinite Osa.
Yeah.
And when I say Osa, it's literally 3 M's.
Dot.
The dot. What do we call that? That's
Is that
the
ellipsis?
ellipsis, yes. And then
get that
Osa.
right?
O-S-A.
Yeah.
Osa. This is a double IPA with orange, 8% alcohol coming in. Equilibrium and Three Sons Brewing Company. Now, we've had, I believe, beers from both of them.
And I just had a IPA from Three Sons just the other day. It's available now in Texas, apparently.
It
so.
smells delicious.
It is.
says, help us ensure cold chain. Purchase cold, trade cold, keep cold. If it's not cold, ask why.
I will just mention it is wonderful cold,
Yep.
and this is an extremely tasty. I can see why they called it a mimosa. It's got a little bit of that, not just the mouthfeel of a mimosa, but a little bit of the flavor-wise as well.
Yeah.
It's very bright fruit forward. Thoughts, guys?
Oh, there's a little funkiness to it that I love. It's a little twisted in the flavor.
You know, Rob knows I'm not a huge IPA fan. I think it's a great way to cover up good brewing. But this is actually amazing.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big fan.
Yeah, it has some nice hop character, but it's not like overwhelming, not super bitter.
Yeah.
Right.
Not like really. in
Yeah,
your
the hop-
face.
The hop linger on this is really just a kiss of bitter with a little sweet behind it as
Right.
well. It's really interesting.
And the bitter almost reminds you of sort of like a fruit bitter. Like, you know how when you drink an orange juice, yes, it's sweet, but it has this little undercurrent of bitter to it.
Yeah.
And that's the same
is-
way the bitter seems
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah,
in
it's a
this
little
beer.
more of a fruit bitter and a little less like an ex-wife bitter.
I'm seeing from here, it's a little bit contradicting because it's so crushable, but it's 8% ABV. But
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like this, and it comes in the tall can as well. So this
Yeah.
is something I would pour in a glass and not think about it and crush it down.
Well, these are both absolutely wonderful breweries. Equilibrium, we've had a number of their beers on before, including some of their bigger, like, you know, stouts and porters. And then Three Sons, these guys are really good at IPAs. So it's one of those things that this compilation
There's
works pretty well.
almost a little bit of, like, when you just ruminate with it in your mouth, there's almost a little bit of chocolate-covered orange to it.
Like a Terry's. A Terry's
You know
chocolate
what I mean?
orange.
Yes.
Yes,
Like-
exactly.
I will confess,
Smack it
though,
on the
these
table.
days, whenever I look at a can and they've abbreviated double IPA by just calling it DIPA, my brain now reads Dua Lipa with orange.
is your woke brain?
Oh, good. It's Dua Lipa with orange. That
Dua
sounds
Lipa with
delicious.
orange.
Yeah.
It's also just cool to see collabs. I mean, that's something I think
Yeah.
has been around a little bit, but we're really starting to see it explode now. Is not just in the beer world, in all worlds, when people come together and collaborate on something like that. I
I'm
mean,
telling you, it
that's
started in hip hop. When I talk to like up and coming artists, which I'm asked to do every once in a while, and they say, "What kind of tips can you get us?" Of collaborate,
Yeah.
collaborate with other artists. You know, be on their records. Nobody knew who Bruno Mars was until he was on the B.O.B. record, like before his career exploded and blew up. And I'm telling you,
And B.O.B.
these-
is a very nice guy, by the way.
Oh, have you met B.O.B.?
Oh yeah, like twice. Like I met B.O.B. and he was just this up and comer. He was nobody. And then after he won his first Grammy, I met him and he was just so nice. Every time he made hello, my name's Bobby Ray. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very nice, very
Well,
great.
and when he talks about you, he says they got nothing on you.
Yeah.
So,
Collabs can get a little out of hand. What was that song that was with Paul McCartney and
well, it has to be a good
the
match.
4 or 5 second song?
Oh, yeah.
has like 13 songwriters credited to
Yeah,
it.
but doesn't it also have Kanye? So that just
And it's
rules it out.
terrible.
Yeah, that just rules it
It's
out
so bad.
right away.
If that's your favorite song out there, by the way, you need to do better.
yeah. You-
All I have
you
to
do.
say is don't start caring about me now.
See, I thought you were going to go Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
That's right.
Oh Lord, why
So
don't
this
we?
is really fun. This is
It is. And we were going to do tequila. Now we're going to have to do tequila in the next segment because you guys got completely carried away with. It was my Dua Lipa reference that
Look what you
started
made
it
me
all.
do.
Yeah. So, all right. This is Smoking and Toasting. Thank you guys for listening and watching and being a part of the program. We're having a lot of fun today with cocktails from the Spirit Box and tequila from Herradura. And we'll be right back to try some more of said tequila next on Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. Welcome to hour 2 of the program, and we appreciate our special guests for joining us. Do want to give a shout-out to last week's special guest, Robert Licorice, and Charlie from Iron Root Whiskey.
That was fun.
Boy, did they have some good whiskey on them, didn't
So
they?
fun. Wow.
And, of course, Doug Messinger from Vinyl Draft, which is where we call that our home away from studio now, Vinyl Draft in
Yes,
Kemah,
it's
Texas.
absolutely wonderful.
Always fun to be down there with Doug, and he's got a great establishment and some pretty cool vinyl too in that cigar room. I absolutely love it. Well, we're talking tequila today as well as cocktails, and we're so excited to have this lineup of Herradura just kind of splayed out before us here. And you have already poured for us the first one, which I'm guessing this is the Blanco, right?
That's it. Perfectly clear.
So tell us about, for those who are not familiar with tequila, Blanco is there any age statement at all for Blanco, or can it just be literally right out of the pot?
Yeah, there's no aging requirements for Blanco, but it can, as long as it is under the threshold of being a reposado tequila, which is 2 months. So as long as you're under 60 days, you can still be a Blanco tequila.
Now, most of the time when I see Blancos, they are more clear, like this one, and that is just simply because they haven't picked up the color from barrel aging, correct?
Exactly, and that's the case right here with Herradura's Blanco Original. This is super special stuff. I'm really excited we're going to drink this together because this is brand new here in the United States. It's been available in Mexico for a very long time, but we just now have it here in the U.S. This is the original recipe. This is a homage to 150 years of distillation right from 1870. It is honestly a teleporter. It transports you in time, flavor-wise.
Fascinating. Now, I'm guessing that you guys probably sell the most of like your Reposado. Would that be my guess?
Reposado's huge, right?
That's your flagship, right?
And that's what we'd put in the cocktail earlier, the Siesta, right? We
right.
use the Reposado, and not only that bottle we have right there, that Herradura Reposado, that is the world's very first Reposado tequila.
I remember this from the last time that you were on.
That's pretty awesome.
That's so cool. So that was the first Reposado. It's kind of almost the flagship for you, at least in the United States. But in Mexico, this Blanco is pretty popular. Is that what you're saying?
This is the OG. If you're a bartender out there, this is going to be something you'll be really excited about from Casa Herradura because it's at a slightly higher proof. It's 46% ABV. It is all terroir. It is all fermentation.
It's funny because it doesn't nose like a Blanco. Blanco usually you get that alcohol bite in the nose, and this doesn't nose like that. It's
Its
actually
nose is like agave. Is what
sweeter
it noses like.
and more agave.
The sweetness from the agave, from the slow and low. It's always for me the slow and low.
Yeah.
Which is the process by which it is cooked and distilled, right?
Exactly. We use traditional ovens, and it's all about cooking like, we're here in Texas. It's a lot like brisket. The secret, right, is getting that low temp for a long time.
The longer it stays on the grill at a lower temp, the better it usually is. You're 100% right. Well, to me, this is fascinating because tequila is my favorite spirit, and I love being able to enjoy it in its different presentations. And for me, if you're a tequila novice, Blanco is a good place to start because it's where you get the most pure sense of the agave. Now, my personal favorites have a tendency to be the añejos and the extra añejos because I love what barrel aging does to the spirit. But if you want to just get pure tequila, and I'm not knocking your one you had in college, but we all know what that is, and it's gold. And this is just so much better
and
of a
as much
flavor.
as you like to think it's a friend of yours.
Right. It's just so much better. There's so much more flavor here.
It's an abusive friendship.
And if you want to, do shots of this. It'll be much better on your palate.
Now, a lot of companies have the same distillate for the Blanco, the Reposado, like for all.
Yeah.
Is this the exact same distillate for?
This is the idea. You got to make a good Blanco. If you don't make good Blanco,
Correct.
everything else is going to suck.
Right.
And so that's kind of what we're going for here. The difference is because of the proof, you've not brought the proof down from its like batch strength, right? From its pot still strength. You're bringing it down. Typically, we see tequilas at 40% ABV. So this is sitting at 46. So yes, it's its same base juice, but it is presented at a different proof that is going to totally alter the experience from any of the
It
others.
doesn't even drink like I'm drinking this Blanco, and it doesn't even drink like a high proof. It also sneaks in a little bit of almost like a moussey chocolatiness kind of
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Like,
about. Kind
that
of a
is-
fluffy chocolate.
Yeah, I like to think, honestly, it's because a lot of the agaves come from the lowlands. This is, if anyone's getting into tequila, you're going to hear highlands, lowlands. Highland tequilas are very light, fruity, and floral, traditionally. And then lowlands are spicy, herbaceous, vegetal. Now, anything's possible, but good rule of thumb.
Right.
So when you get those chocolates, those spices, the pepper, that sort of thing is typically an inclination that there's a good amount of lowland agave in there.
What's interesting to me about this as a Blanco is that the pepper, because I feel like you almost always get pepper in a Blanco, but the pepper here comes very late to the palate.
Yeah.
You don't pick it up right at first. You don't go, ooh, pepper. But then, like, after you've kind of savored the finish for a moment, and then it's kind of when the pepper comes. At least that's what I'm getting. Would you agree with
and
that?
to me, it hits together
Agreed.
with the vegetal note of like a green red bell pepper kind of.
Yeah, that vegetal note is everything for me. And I want to share a really fun fact about this. And it goes for all of Herradura, but what we're doing is called open air natural fermentation. So when it comes to fermentation, we just have a big barn and we just let Mother Nature take over. We have 16 varieties of citrus and fruit trees growing around the distillery. And those provide natural yeast. They've been growing for over 150 years. It's like a fingerprint. So that's that flavor.
I think this is amazing. Maybe one of the best Blancos I've ever tasted. It's just so pure tasting, if I could.
Yeah, well, salute to that. Thank you.
It's just absolutely wonderful. And listen, I'll be honest with you. Not all Blancos are that enjoyable. You know what I mean? Some
No,
of them
they can be a little harsh.
Yeah, some of them can
Or a
hit
little
the palate.
too basic almost.
Yeah, exactly. But this has got nuance to it that, even though it's a more Blanco, more agave-forward flavor, the nuance to it is deeper than what I would necessarily expect from a younger tequila like this, which is why I think it's so good. You said this is being released in the United States?
It is here now. It's
Okay.
pretty much brand new, but you can get this now. It's here in Texas. It's all over the United States in a lot of markets, and it's just going to keep rolling out.
Do
so
you
keep
happen
an
to know
eye
the
out.
price point on it?
Here in Texas, it's running right around that like 45 mark.
Nice.
So to get a 46% ABV Blanco of a really traditional style like
Yeah.
this, oh my God, you're normally paying like 80 to 120
Oh,
honestly.
Which is tough for me to think about for a Blanco. If I'm going to pay those kind of prices, I'm looking extra añejo usually.
And that's a
because-
mindset we have here in the U.S. because we think of aging as superiority. And don't get me wrong, I love a super aged, well done spirit, but the quality is in the agave, so it thrives in a Blanco just as much as it does in an añejo.
Absolutely wonderful. Now, you poured us a second one. What is this? Second one looks a lot like the first one, but it's not at all,
It's
is it?
the complete opposite. This is a product we do not have in the United States. This just launched, only available in Mexico, and I wanted to bring it as a little surprise for you guys. This is called Cristal. It is Herradura's Reposado Cristalino.
Color me surprised. I'm surprised and happy, and I haven't
Is
even
there a
tasted
tiny bit of color in this, or am I picking up from the lights?
I think we're getting
I feel
some
like
of it from
a
the lights,
a
but
slight
I
blush,
see that
but-
too.
it. So I don't get the same amount of like raw agave on the nose as I did with the Blanco.
Yeah, we got some
No,
aging
on-
here.
On the
There's a little
nose, I
pepper.
pick up the pepper, but I also pick up some vanilla, some oak, some.
The oak will be there.
So explain to me if tequila aged, like here's your double barrel añejo. I'm holding this up to the camera. You can see it's a fairly dark tequila spirit from
that
the aging.
It picks that up from the barrel, right?
Right,
From the char
right.
and the
Exactly,
barrel.
yeah.
So what do you do to Cristal? How do you filter out? Is there a process for filtering out the color? And if so, does it filter out other things besides the color?
Yeah, it's charcoal, right? So charcoal's a great filter, and we're going to use charcoal filtration for any Cristalino. A lot of people will say, well, it's going to not just strip the color away, it makes it really smooth, but it may also strip some of the nuances away. So it's important to have a bold tequila before you dive into the Cristalino process. So the lowland agave inside here makes it really pop and really bold, so that when you do charcoal filter, you are not losing flavor. You still have a bunch of beautiful flavor, but you're getting that extra level of smoothness, and it is barrel aged. So if you like repos and añejo, it is in that flavor profile.
It is, and it is so easy to drink. And you do pick up a little of that sort of wood influenced, even though your eyes tell you that that's not there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the oak aftertaste is so nice on this. It's got such a nice, soft oakness to it that sometimes that oak can be really astringent, but this is really soft. There might even be like an almost little bit of smoke at the end of it. It's really, really pleasant.
Very approachable, right? Would you say?
Yeah.
Super.
I think I've converted Terry to a tequila guy.
Yeah,
what are you
no,
thinking
it's
on this,
very
Terry?
good. And you know, and what I'm thinking about it is real interesting is because the last time we had our tequila expert Liliana
Liliana,
on,
yeah.
she actually brought on some Cristalinos to try and to discuss the difference between them. And your explanation of where you have to start with something that has that kind of flavor so it doesn't all get stripped away. That was it right there. That's
Exactly.
the exact thing that you have to know about it, because that's what she was talking about, is how some of that charcoal filtering can really strip away a lot of the flavor.
It's
but
kind of it's kind of like anything. If you're doing a whiskey and if the mash bill is not great, it's not going to really matter how much aging you put into it. You know?
While he was talking, I was taking pictures of him because he has that old school Shure microphone.
Yeah.
The way you're standing up to it is absolutely perfect. So we have to post that.
Yeah, I call it an Elvis microphone because it's
Yes.
that shiny.
Yeah.
And so so
I
it's
can't
Terry.
remember the number on it. It's a Shure
55.
55.
He's
Super 55.
Super 55, right?
He's holding
right.
the
This is the
Cristalino
Super
in his
55.
left hand.
Yeah.
He's got headphones on.
Start spreading the news.
A Beavis and Butthead T-shirt. And
It's
the,
brilliant. No,
and the jihadist
All right,
beer.
listen.
So-
We're gonna do a promo post with this picture.
Yeah. Terry, from now on, you are our promo. You are.
Wow.
That's how it absolutely works. Well, so I absolutely love this, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of Cristalinos. Not that I don't like them, but I'd just rather have the non-filtered
All of
version.
the flavors instead of
with
some stripped
right.
flavors.
But this is so smooth and easy to drink that it makes me wonder. Maybe I've been a little too hasty with the
Well,
Cristalino
it's easy to overgeneralize. Okay, if you're going to charcoal filter something, you're obviously taking something out, and some flavor is going to be part of that. Like there's no one can actually deny that whatsoever. However, that doesn't make the end product bad. It makes it different.
But see, on the finish here,
You
I'm
know?
still picking up that vanilla that I love.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
still picking up a little bit of that sort of, for lack of a better way to describe it, the wood, the oakiness. And it gives me what I'm always looking for in tequilas, especially tequilas that are not super young. And that surprises me a little from a Cristalino, to be honest.
And now you can sip something aged in the summer. I like that. That's a great way
Yeah.
to think of it too. It's
Yeah.
super hot out here, especially here in Houston, and you need something that is refreshing, but also gives you all those things we love about a barrel.
You know what? I just realized that
summer.
getting rid of the color and the barrel, it gives you a very, very subtle custard finish with that vanilla.
Yeah,
Like,
I like
not-
that. I agree with that. A little bit.
It's
of
very
custard.
subtle, but makes me think of a little custard.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Totally get it. Well, this is absolutely wonderful. And you said this, however, is not available in the United States.
It's not
correct?
available in the United States. I like to keep my fingers crossed that maybe one day, but as of right now, get yourself down to Mexico, come visit us, and grab a bottle of Cristal.
So let me ask you this question as we get ready to go to break. What's involved in the decision? Say you've got this, it's only available in Mexico, which is where it's produced, so that makes sense. What is involved in the decision to go, okay, we're going to release this in the U.S. or other countries?
yeah, there's got to be an appetite.
Right?
You know, it's a big investment to send a product across the world. So
you got to get shelf space. You got
Yep.
all that other stuff.
labels have to
happen.
be a little different from one
Yeah.
country to another. So a lot of decisions, but if there's appetite, it'll come.
Well, I just want to hint towards there maybe being a little appetite.
And it's a gorgeous bottle too.
It is.
Also,
beautiful.
that it whenever it's not flavored, tequila has to be bottled at 40%, right?
yeah, but that's like the bare minimum.
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
the minimum point.
And
right.
they typically bottle at 38.
All right, we got to take a break, and we will be back. There's more tequila to taste and more cocktails. Let's do a cocktail next. What do you think?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm down. All right. It's Smoking and Toasting. We will be right back. Wow, I don't know what that was, but it was...
He makes things dirty.
It was clunky. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars, and today a little bit about cocktails, too. And while Ian is pouring our next cocktail, I will just let you know the latest celebrity line of cigars has been announced, and it is by celebrity Marlon Wayans, the comedian and actor. He has talked for a long time about how much he loves cigars. So at least, I can at least appreciate that. Like if somebody's
Yeah.
truly a cigar lover and they want to get into, the game, as it were, with cigars, that's better than just someone wanting to, make a buck.
You feel
know
a
what
little
I mean?
better like someone didn't just approach him and go, "Hey, I could use your name to make a cigar." If they like it,
Exactly,
then
yeah,
maybe there's a
yeah.
little more to it.
Liga Tridente is the name of Marlin's cigar line. They're made in Honduras, and they are still new to market. They're only available in about 18 stores around the United States, but it will branch out, I'm sure, from there. Wayan says he is hoping to approximately double the retail reach for the next year. So the Liga Tridente Habano is the largest with 3 sizes, and it is described as a medium to full-bodied cigar. Now, I will say, I love Honduran tobacco. There's an earthiness to it that is different from the Nicaraguan earthiness.
It's a very specific earthiness.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to say. You said it better.
Like when you have a Dominican cigar, there's a volcanic soil kind of thing that happens.
Yep.
When you have a Nicaraguan cigar, you get the pepperiness, and even though Nicaragua is right next to Honduras, and the Jalapa Valley even shares that border, there's a very much an earthiness that you get from anything that's very Honduran or Puro Honduran even.
Ian and I were invited to Honduras several years ago to come down and enjoy things at the
Aladino
farm and factory.
outrageous.
And that was when we got... It was interesting because obviously most of the time that we're there, we're smoking their Aladino cigars and just acquiring a real understanding and taste for what great Honduran
When you
tobacco
spend
is like.
the most part of a week smoking cigars in the region and smoking cigars
Right.
from the region, I feel like you really start to absorb some of what that's really about. And then not only that, but but liquors and beers and all those things from
And
the region,
coffees.
the food and coffee from the region. It was really, really such a fun time.
It was a great
But
time.
the Nicaraguan cigars, they have the Honduran cigars, they have that. There's a nuttiness to them, but there's also that super earthy thing. I love them.
Yeah,
And do you
absolutely.
find have you had one on site in country of origin that you've also had that same one here, and have you noticed
Sure. Yeah, the
anything
Aladino
different
specifically.
in that transition from coming, having to make it across?
I want to say yes, but I think it just has to do with the environment you're in at that time more so than it really being a distinct difference in flavor. Does that make sense? Like when you're there, you're just so surrounded by, the factory, the curing barns, and the fields, and all of it. You're so like in this mode of being surrounded by all of this tobacco and all of how it goes. I think it may impact your perceptions a little differently.
Yeah,
Whereas
you eat with
if you're home,
it's
you're
like,
like,
you eat with your eyes too.
yeah, right. Whereas
And
if you're
even-
home, you're like, okay, I'm going out on the
even at
patio
night-
and I'm having this Honduran
Even
cigar.
at night, when you're sitting on a patio of the rooms where they let us, where they had us stay, which were like little hotel rooms around there, you're overlooking moonlit tobacco fields.
Yeah, which is pretty cool, by the way.
I mean,
freaking amazing.
it's like that. I think placebo has a bad connotation, but it's not. It's
Right.
just
No.
it's the environment affecting you, and I think that's a beautiful
it's
thing.
a large part of it's part of the experience, right? It's not just. But the nice thing is, now that we've done that, when we come back and we have that Aladino or the very Honduran cigar, it makes me think about that time.
It's like anything. It's the atmosphere around you is part of the experience. If you go to the theater, for a play, not the movie theater, but the theater for a play, and you watch, you appreciate the whole atmosphere and the vibe and the way that the actors are enunciating. If they did that in a movie, you go, why are they overacting so much? But on the stage, in that environment, it makes total sense, and it's part of your environment is part of the experience.
I have a question.
Yes.
What kind of meal are we about to drink here?
Right.
This is cocktail for dinner.
Like this, I put this to my nose, and it immediately smells like savory, like spaghetti sauce, like
Ham.
The cocktail that eats like a meal.
nicely said.
For this
What are
one,
we dealing with here?
we wanted to do something a little bit crazy. We love going very extreme
I
sometimes.
mean, I kind of want this on some ravioli.
We were working again with Reposado, Herradura, and we decided to do a fat wash with it. It's a common practice to bring a new texture and a new dimension to your cocktails, and we use chorizo fat. So the idea came that I wanted to present with Fowler. We were like, what should we do? And it was like, what about we do some chilaquiles with salsa de piña on a cocktail?
This is when you said it.
Pretty much what it was.
Because I had just taken a sip. When you said it, holy cow! Like I didn't get like on the nose. Now I get it. Okay, now that I've taken a sip and tried it, now I get it. The corn tortilla,
Right.
Yeah,
And
we
the,
did
and the
a
sort of green
infusion on the
pepper,
corn tortillas, too.
the sort of green pepper vibe. It definitely did. When you said chilaquiles, I immediately thought, and of course,
and the pineapple salsa.
Yeah,
Like
so-
holy cow!
Confession: we're in Texas. Everyone may not know what chilaquiles is because it's not like you're gonna.
But you want to try it?
It's
Yeah.
not like you're going to see it on the menu in Maryland, but if you are someplace and they offer it, that's your breakfast, folks.
Yeah,
That's your
Absolutely.
breakfast.
it's so good.
And I gotta say, these two lads, like, food to cocktail is no one does it better. It's crazy. I mean, like, from chips and salsa to this chilaquiles, like, we've seen it all, and it's just wild how accurate this is.
It
to
does.
that,
It
to
does
that
seem
dish.
like this is a crazy idea. If you told me you were going to do this, I'd be like, "These guys are nuts. What are they thinking?"
Yeah, I
It
wouldn't
has-
think the description would be like, oh, yeah, that's what I want in my drink. But then when I drink it, I'm like, I want more.
yeah.
It
Absolutely.
has the lingering heat too. Like you had a couple chips with salsa, and
Yeah.
then you bit into the
Right,
chilaquiles. Now chilaquiles is eggs, and it's cooked with tortilla, and then you can add other flavors, but a lot of times it's going to have chorizo. It's going to have
chicken sometimes.
chicken. Sometimes, yeah, there's different sorts of it, but you take a sip of this, and the corn tortilla is there, and it leaves that lingering heat. Like you had just a little bit of the
Yeah.
salsa beforehand, and then that
It's-
pineapple.
yeah.
That's so good.
It's amazing. So we have to take a break, but I just wanted to mention the other thing you accomplish with this is Doritos, and what I mean by that is what we like to call here on the show the Doritos effect, which is after you have some, you're like, I want more.
Yeah,
It's
that's it.
Scientifically engineered. I must have another bite.
Oh
in
man,
this case,
if this had
I
a
must have
straw
another
in
drink.
it, it would go directly to
And-
my brain.
Oh, this is like the food truck series right
One
here.
last thing. One last thing I have to say is that it's real chilaquiles because it has epazote.
We'll be right back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And, you know, just if you ever accuse us of, like, you know, stretching or filling, I mean, this is a full show. We haven't had to stretch or fill anything because we got Herradura tequila. We've got cocktails from the guys that are probably the best experts on cocktails I can think of. And
We
we've
haven't
got-
mentioned Nicolas Cage once.
I know. That's how full the show has been. And by the way, stuff's going on with him. I mean, I could start. We could go there. We could go there.
But so much to talk about.
That's right. But one of the things we don't want to leave out is something that has become the most popular segment on the program. And I'm saying this kind of slowly because I'm stalling to give Ian time to pick up the ukulele because it's time for drinking news.
Drinking news, drinking news. Now's time for drinking news. A Florida man with one arm said he had a gator for a pet. When asked about his absent arm, he said,
I gotta
Take my gator to the vet.
drinking news, drinking news. That's our time for drinking news.
Cheers, y'all. I have to admit, guys, that went better than I expected. So it really did. Well, Drinking News is the segment of the program where we bring you a story from the news. It's not from a parody site like The Onion. It's actual news that appeared somewhere. We can't, testify to the validity of 100% of what's out there, but at least it's stuff that we believe to be actual news. And it is sometimes, but not always, about drinking, but it is always best enjoyed if you've been drinking.
And guess what?
Yeah,
We have.
We have, and we're going to do more of that actually before this day is over here. Before we get to our main story on today's drinking news, about another really smart human being. Hopefully, you can catch my ironic tone.
Where
there.
was he from?
I want to take just a moment to talk about parenting. Now, it's only fair that I note that I am not a parent. I am a step-parent, but both of my wife's children were fully grown up by the time I met them. So I've never been directly involved in the actual act of parenting. In fact, the only one of us on the show that is a parent is our producer and engineer, Terry. So maybe, Terry, you can offer some sage words of parenting advice today. Terry, anything? I mean, look, it seems to me, and I think...
Excuse me. Terry said...
What he meant to say is just have tequila handy.
That's right. For yourself, not for the kids.
I mean, his statement actually says a lot if you parse it out.
It really does. Look, it seems to me, and I think that Terry would agree, that one of the most important roles that a parent can play is teaching your kids proper behavior. You know, the simple things like don't touch stuff at the museum.
Yeah.
Don't use your crayons on the wall.
Yeah.
Don't fart in an elevator. And perhaps most importantly of all, don't grow up and move to Florida. But one parent who may have not done a great job on the first of these directives may find himself on the hook for an enormous bill after an incident recently in the Netherlands. You're familiar, I'm sure, with that old Pottery Barn rule. You break it, you buy it. In this case, our Danish parent certainly wishes he'd done a better job of parenting, because while he wasn't paying attention to what his young child was doing, the kid didn't just break a $138 gingerbread-looking train engine from a Pottery Barn holiday tabletop decoration set. No, the rogue child wound up touching and messing up one of the museum's paintings.
Oh.
Which one, you ask? The $3 original of Dogs Playing Poker? Nope. It was specifically a painting from 1960 called Gray, Orange on Maroon, number 8, by American artist Mark Rothko. The kid scratched it, causing more damage than you might think that scratches could cause. Total retail value of this showcase? $56 million.
Are you sure the price didn't go up
scratching.
after he did this? I
For
mean,
scratching a Rothko?
Yeah.
I've been to the Rothko Chapel,
Yeah.
it's
and
beautiful.
it's a very serene place.
Oh, very much.
It's a place to contemplate how two colors coming together cannot be very exciting.
You got to wonder if his first
Now,
question
if you
was,
get a lot out of it, that's fine. I'm not judging you or anything.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I have to have pictures
Right.
to make my art exciting.
Yeah.
I am saying, though, an entire piece that's apparently worth millions that simply contrasts the color between blue and slightly different blue.
and also, come on, at least he named it the 3 colors that are
Right.
there.
And number 8.
Number 8.
Like,
Yeah.
we could do a little better. Now, there's a great song from a British rock band, and in there they say, "Did you see that painting that Rothko did? It looks like it was painted by a kid."
Yeah. And in this case, it was scratched by a kid. So,
So he added a point of interest
Yeah.
to an otherwise, I'm not going to say boring, but let's say serene painting.
serene. Okay.
Do we
Well,
like that?
apparently his first question was, would you guys take a check? But our main story on this edition of Drinking News takes us from the popular phrase, you break it, you bought it, to one that seems actually more fitting for our little segment. You can't fix stupid. Or as one of my favorite stickers says, you can't fix stupid even with duct tape. Our story starts off heroically thanks to Japanese rescue workers. These emergency first responders managed to save a Chinese man whose name has been withheld, who was in Japan trying to climb Mount Fuji. Now, in fairness, I've never tried to climb Mount Fuji, but I have had their water, and it's refreshing and delicious.
Mount Fuji is apparently a tall rock.
But that's not important right now. Rescue workers airlifted the young Chinese man from the slopes after he became incapacitated because of altitude sickness.
That happens a lot.
Altitude sickness is what happens when the body doesn't have enough time to adjust to the changes in altitude and available oxygen, and symptoms can include headache, nausea, fatigue, and even more serious issues like high-altitude pulmonary edema. edema or high altitude cerebral edema.
One of those conditions it can cause is actually death.
Yeah. I mean, add in projectile diarrhea, and it sounds kind of like a TV ad for Ozempic.
I felt better. That list without diarrhea was really starting to bother me.
But authorities in Japan are not too happy with our Chinese would-be mountain climber, because just 4 days later, they had to dispatch first responders again to the same place for the exact same reason, because the young Chinese man had gone back up the mountain and back to experiencing altitude sickness once again.
Well, he's persistent. You got to give him that.
He just likes to get high.
What made the climber return to the scene of the first incident? Was it man versus mountain, a test of will, and the refusal to concede defeat?
Tell me he left his vape pipe up there.
Or was it simply another instance of you can't fix stupid? I fear, my friends, it was the latter. The anonymous young Chinese man went back up the mountain, risking death once again because he left his cell phone up there.
See, there you have it. There you have it.
Oh, well, it all makes sense to me. What are we if not our phones?
That's right.
I mean,
Go back for yourself.
Yeah, I did lose my phone this week in an Uber, actually. So I'm really gonna say I feel for our friend.
You would have climbed that.
My favorite is he went for a couple days like, damn it. Oh, I know where my phone is.
Ain't no mountain high enough.
All right, I gotta go back.
Look, you guys.
Patty LaBelle on us. Oh, my God.
I mean, can we talk about, though, how amazing it is that he climbed a huge mountain and found a device the size of my
first
hand?
off, what kind of phone is it?
Yeah.
And, like, they should hire this guy.
Well, yeah. Listen, I know how expensive that these things have become. And I also understand that if the tariffs are applied, an iPhone 16 Pro Max with a 1 terabyte of storage could rise from like $1,599 to over $3,900 if you needed to replace it. But, my dude, at a certain point, you just have to let it go. I mean, maybe try switching carriers. That's usually good for a free phone or two. Truth is, there are situations where it's time to give up on your phone and just bite the bullet and get a new one. Particularly if your life could be in danger, or if you left it someplace where it'd be too embarrassing to admit that you were there.
Did he
in the
actually
first
find
place.
his phone?
Yes.
Is that not remarkable?
It was right there beside his semi-lifeless body when they airlifted him the second time. I mean, you say
Not the point. He found the phone.
you can't really
Pretty amazing.
you say you can't really imagine leaving your phone someplace that'd be too embarrassing to admit that you were there in the first place. Well, lucky for you,
The danger is when you have to wipe because you always put it down.
yeah.
That's what happens.
The danger is that, you could have to admit that you were there in the first place. So, lucky for you, our crack screen team of drinking news writers, did you get what I did there? Crack
that's you.
screen? Yeah. Have jumped in with both feet, and they're here to help. We have come up with a number of these that I think you will agree are embarrassing enough that a trip to the phone store for a new one may be in order. And as I often do, I have assembled those for you here in the form of another very handy and only semi-useful drinking news top 5 list. Based on the embarrassment factor, this would be the top 5 worst places to leave your phone. Number 5, in Cawker City, Kansas, where you were visiting the world's largest ball of twine. Which is a real thing, by the way.
Yes.
Look it up. Cawker City, Kansas.
That's right, Clark Griswold.
I would pull off the road for that.
Worst places to leave your phone. Number 4, next to the huge end-cap display of adult diapers at Walmart. Number 3, backstage at the Luxor in Las Vegas for a meet and greet with Carrot Top. Number 2, Jezebel's. Number 2, Jezebel's Rub and Tug Massage Parlor. You know, the one by the airport. And the...
no.
Number 1, the number 1 worst place to leave your phone, just give up and get a new one. Number 1, next to the industrial-sized dispenser of baby oil at the Diddy Freak-Off.
Hey, you said that it's bad to leave your foam on the aisle by the adult diapers, but
Yeah.
really it just depends.
I just like to point out I did not go there, but he did.
Thank you.
Reporting live from Mount Fuji, where rescue workers have just informed me that I don't have altitude sickness, I have attitude sickness. So I'm going to tell them, whatever. My name is Cruz, and that is your...
Speak to the hand.
Yeah.
Drinking news. Drinking news. That's our time for drinking news.
Cheers, Al. Well,
I want to punch you in the stomach.
we've got an awful lot to still do in this segment, so let's go first to our barley wine, since Ian's such a fan of the barley wine.
It's delicious.
You can tell by my cup that I haven't been researching at all. Oh, wait, I refilled it.
I was going to say,
This is fantastic.
It's delicious.
can you show us the bottle on this? This is Sharkeez, and it is an
double
English-style
Sharkeez.
barley wine. Yeah, it's a pretty... He's saying hold it down a little bit, maybe?
No, he's good right
Oh,
now.
he's got okay. Yeah, it's an English-style barley wine, and I don't know a whole lot more than that about it. Ian, does the bottle give us any
Well, it
any
has Horus
information?
on the side,
Yeah.
and that's important. That's the opposite of my raw.
Yeah, well, Horus is the name of the brewing company, so...
Horus is looking the other direction, by the way. That's the whole thing. Sharkeez French oak barreled English-style barley wine with 2 times hazelnuts and Mojave Vault Reserve Series Panama Geisha natural coffee added. That's easy to say, right?
Yeah. Wow, this is so tasty. It is almost like a graham cracker s'more
It's
ale.
so good.
Yeah, it really
awesome.
is.
It's like I literally want to punch all of you and run away with this bottle. Right?
You can also just run away with the bottle and not punch anybody.
We probably let you
Yeah.
because we still got tequila. And I'm really curious because we poured the Herradura a double barrel tequila añejo.
Some of y'all
And-
still have tequila.
Yeah.
I too was doing research.
I really want to try it. Speaking of research, in combination with this barley wine. So let's do that. Ian, you beat me to it. So your thoughts?
Sweet pepper and deliciousness. If you could take pepper and you can add a sweetness to it, and then add an oakiness to it, and then a little layer of vanilla on top, this
Yeah.
is what you have here.
Well, the oak is strong with this one.
And the oak finish is so good. The oak finish is like you get in big old scotches almost a lot of times. Like this is beyond what you get in most bourbons. It's so oaky. It's like
You know, there's a really good reason why you're getting so much oak here. This process is very special. A lot of distilleries offer you a personal selection, right? You buy a barrel and you get the juice from just that barrel. This is taking it to another level. 25 months in a barrel. We take that batch out of the barrel, put it in an additional brand new barrel for 1 month. So it's
That's
a double barrel, hand selected, one batch.
And it's brand new. So
Have you tried going back to the barley wine after a sip of this?
we're gonna do that now.
Do that, and I got 2 words for you as we go to break. Heath Bar.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll be right back.
Oh my gosh.
It's smoking and toasting. We'll be right back.
Like almost exactly.
Yeah.
I think this is my favorite song.
Welcome back. It is Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer,
Oh, wait, that's the end.
fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. That's a little Pale for you. Pale, the rock band from Houston. Welcome back. It's so nice to have you guys here. This has been fun. I think this might be the most people we've had on mic in the studio at one time on the show.
It's been yes.
We
Yeah,
bring in extra mics.
Well, then we have when we've been on location had more perhaps,
Right.
but in the studio I think
Yeah.
this has been the most. So this has been a lot of fun. Ian has a saying that I have basically adopted and stolen from him, but he has a saying when we try 2 beverages or even a beverage and cigar that go together really, really well. He likes to say that they form like Voltron, and this would be an example of that. I think.
I'm always talking about the lions, not the cars.
Okay, good to know.
Just so you know.
Good to know. Yeah. But going back and forth between this double barrel tequila añejo from Herradura and the barley wine that we are enjoying from Horus, these, honestly, I don't know if they could go together any better.
It's
They
It's
unbelievable.
really good,
They
right?
just accompany each other so well. So let me ask you a little bit about this tequila, because I can't just go into the store and buy this, correct?
Yeah, it has to be purchased by buying a whole barrel. But if a liquor store bought a barrel, then they could totally offer that as a selection.
All right, so if I want something similar to this, I need to look on the tequila aisle shelf at my favorite store and see if anything they have is a barrel pick or a barrel selection.
Yeah,
correct?
look for barrel picks. And from Casa Herradura, you'll always see the thick horseshoe on there is a great sign that you're getting.
Okay, because if you look at the other bottles, it's it's the paper label horseshoe, but this is the embossed, almost pewter
Metal
looking.
horseshoe,
Yeah.
yes.
And I
Yeah.
think Specs pretty often has some of these. I've seen them at Specs.
They have you'll find Herradura's Reposado double barrel at Specs for sure. And I think you'll start to see this too. I know you love your añejo, so I wanted to bring you something that this exact flavor will never exist
It's
again.
just amazing. Now, what is something like this going to cost at retail?
It's honestly quite a range. It depends on where you are in the United States because there's
Different
the pricing
liquor laws
changes.
and-
It,
sure.
it changes based on laws and all sorts of things. But you could expect to see this come in around like anywhere between like 65 to 85 range.
That is amazing to me
That's a
because
pretty
the
fantastic
sort of
tequila at that price.
the sort of standard that I use for higher priced tequila is Jose Cuervo Reserva de la Familia. It's currently in the 130, 140 range for a bottle. But this to me is extremely competitive with that at a much lower price point. And when I look at some of these tequilas that want $200 and $300 for the bottle, I just want to know, is it going to be twice as good? You know what I mean? And so that's what I sort of use as the line marker. But to me, if you could find a bottle of this or something like it, because I'm guessing if Specs did a barrel pick or whoever your favorite liquor store is, wherever you're listening, did a barrel pick with you guys of the añejo, it's going to be similar in terms of the quality, correct?
Yeah, quality will be the same. The flavor will just be a little different, right? It'll be
Because
in the
of the
same
specific
world,
barrel,
but
yeah.
depending on where that barrel sat and the flavors you like.
Absolutely love
This,
this. I mean, this is just spectacular.
This tequila reduces the barley wine to a beautiful graham cracker and fig Newton kind of thing. It's so good.
I kind of said Heath Bar when we went to the break.
It does
because it
that
had a little
too.
bit of
But
that,
like
but-
I'm sitting here and I keep trying it. And I'm like, there's something else in there. And graham cracker and fig Newton are
Yeah.
totally.
Well, it's funny you say fig because I think the
fig
barley
Newton
wine.
a little bit stale,
Oh yeah.
where they're perfect. You know.
Well, the barley wine brings the stone fruit out of the tequila for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
fig is
when
like-
you go back to the
Yeah.
the tequila. Well, this is absolutely spectacular, and you guys do such a. I mean, I don't know if there is a better reposado on the market than Herradura's reposado. I just think it's for that aging statement. I think it's just about as good as you can possibly get. It's just, and it's not a surprise to me that is your sort of flagship, at least in the United States.
Fowler, you guys got some things coming up at 101.
Oh yeah, we have a new cocktail menu drop happening this Monday, and it is Irish whiskey focused.
Oh, I love Irish
Yeah,
whiskey.
so we started picking different countries of whiskey origin
Yeah.
and focusing, and this is like the
Is
first
there a
one that
particular
we've-
brand, or are you doing a
Oh no, it's
bunch
all
of
over the
different
map.
ones?
Yeah,
So
you guys-
everything
I
from
have a-
Bushmills
I have
to.
yeah.
You guys even have a poutine cocktail,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We have a so poutine is the Irish whiskey, basically moonshine.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow. Okay.
Nice.
Pre-barrel, so
Yeah.
we have a cocktail with that going on.
Now I know in
How cool is
past
that?
you've had on your specialty month menu you've had some barrel picks. Do you have any? Do you have
This
any
is at
barrel picks?
Reserve
Oh,
101
yeah.
downtown,
Right.
by the way.
Downtown
We
Houston.
just-
Right across the street from the House of Blues.
Do you have any cool barrel picks that you can mention?
We have a cool 1792 full proof that pretty much just landed. We have a weeded Wilderness Trail. We have upcoming a Blanton's Gold pick, one of the
nice.
few that they've
I-
ever done.
I see. I would think that's going to excite a lot of people because I know a lot of people who became huge fans of Blanton's right before it became impossible to get, and now it's a little easier
The
to
real
find.
problem
but-
with Blanton's is that it's delicious.
And I have another problem. Is it gonna be on Sundays?
Oh yeah, our single barrel Sundays.
Single
Yeah.
barrel Sundays.
love
You guys
single
remember
barrel
that? You're in
Sundays.
Houston, right?
Yeah.
Single
Yeah.
barrel Sundays.
Yeah.
$6 ounces of our barrel picks all day on Sundays.
Amazing.
And their barrel picks don't cost that much. Their
Yeah,
barrel
they normally
crisps cost
range
way
12,
more than
12
that.
to
Yeah.
26
Yeah.
currently.
Right.
Some of them can be higher, some of them can be lower. But
You mentioned at the top of the show that Reserve 101 considered one of the finest whiskey bars in the country.
Yeah.
And we are. I am very fortunate to have it this close to me, but anytime you're in Houston, it is definitely worth checking out. It's across the street from the House of Blues, downtown Houston, and it's just absolutely a wonderful place to hang out. Ian and I like to do all of our show meetings there.
One of the finest in the country is a literal statement. That is not a, hey, we're pretty cool.
well, we did
We
get
literally have been voted one of the finest.
for our industry convention. We got top 10 in our region for cocktail bars,
That's
honestly,
awesome.
too.
Yeah.
So
For
not
cocktail
just
bars.
So
whiskeys,
for cocktail
and
bars,
you're thought of
whiskey.
as a whiskey
Man.
bar. Yeah.
Top whiskey bars in the country. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, the cocktails you guys have brought today are any indication. The sky's the limit for you guys. Both of these have been so good and so enjoyable and so different, by the way. So can't wait to see what you guys will turn up next. The Instagram feed is
Add Rob.thespiritbox.
The
That's the
Spirit Box.
Instagram.
Yeah. So if we search the Spirit Box on Instagram, will you come up?
Rob.thespiritbox.
It does. A lot of people have found it like that, but just
Okay.
Rob.thespiritbox.
We'll be posting them on Smoking and Toasting. We'll be posting pictures later of all
So
of this
you can find that
wonderfulness.
on our Instagram for sure. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for being here, for being a part of this program today. It was so much fun. I know we had to delay the recording of today's show a little bit, so thank you for showing back up, and thanks for bringing all your stuff back again, too, because it's been terrific. Have a great week, my friends. We will see you next time on Smoking and Toasting.
Hello.
Hello to all of our new affiliates, and until we meet again, cheers, y'all.
Cheers.